Hi, welcome back. So the next video we're going to talk about is creating a relationship. So the relationship is what connects two tables based on a specific key. So let me get back to this mailing list again. So in the mailing list, we have the names and company names and address and everything. So now what we are going to do is we're going to create a key. We will call it, it's a unique key we need to create. So let's call it PK, primary key. So I'm going to create a new field and then I'm going to name that PK and then text 16 and then I'm going to make it read only. So because it's going to be automatically created by DataEase. And then there is a function in here called unique ID. All I need to do is double click to put it into this derivation. So for the field, there is a section called derivation. So in the derivation, if I put in unique ID, it will generate based on the record, or not based on the record, each time we create the record. So I'm going to click OK and then bring it to the side, and then I'm going to file, save. So when I save it, it will go through and it will create. It's very fast, it's all done. So now if I go back to the user view and then go to the first record, you can see there is a randomly created, like the key is there. And then if I go to last record, and then you can see the numbers and the letters all mixed together. So it creates a 16 characters length based on the unique identifier. So it will be unique to each record. So now based on this unique ID, let's say for each of these customer we're going to have multiple invoices. So somewhere on the screen we need to show all the invoices we send it to this customer. So what we need to do first is we need to create a new form, file new form, and then we're going to call it invoices. And then once we create the invoices, we need to link that primary key to this invoice, but for this invoice it will be a foreign key. So I'm going to create FK and then I'm going to call it FK and then text 16, so it should match, and then read only, and then there is no derivation because whatever entered into the customers is going to be passed on to this. So I'm going to click OK. I'm going to save, file, save. Now the basic things for the invoices. So it'll be invoice number. So let's do invoice number, and then I'm going to create a field for invoice number. And then again, I will highly recommend not leaving any spaces or special characters in these field names. So invoice number is going to be, let's say, a numeric string, and then we call it 1 2 3 4 5. And click OK. So that's an invoice number. And now the next one is invoice description. Let's call it DESCRIPTION, description, F10, and then let's have it 40. And then the next one is going to be the amount. So I'm making it, I'm simplifying so we can learn how the basic things are working, and then based on that we can improve. We can go into advanced. So the number, so it'll be amount will be number, and then I'm going to call it 5 digits, and then 2 decimal is enough for this each invoice. So I'm going to put that in here, and then I'm going to go file, save, or Control S, one or the other. So that's fine. I'm going to do save. So now Now we created the invoice. If I go into the forms, so you can see the mailing list is there, invoice is there. So now we need to connect these two and then I need to show the invoices on the screen. So to do that, we need to go create a relationship. So go into application, relationships, and the records in invoices are related to records in mailing list, or you can have it the other way around, it's fine. So now I'm going to call it in the invoices is a foreign key, but the mailing list is going to be the primary key. And then here in the optional section, I'm going to create a unique identifier or the unique name, so we know, when we start using those. So I'm going to call it, I normally go with R for relationship, and then invoices, the table name, INVOICES, and the same here on the right hand side, R mailing, MAILING, mailing list, and then I'm going to save that. So once this is how you create the relationship. It's a simplified way of creating the relationship. Now click done, and then when I go into mailing list, and then all I am planning to do is let's put a rectangle where I am going to show the invoices. So, and then in this box, so let's do some coloring here. So let's fill it with light blue, maybe this one, or let's pick even lighter. Let's see if there is any, yeah, so let's pick that light, or maybe it looks dark, it's fine. And the border, let's do a little black. So now to put the subform, you don't have to put the rectangle, but I just created this rectangle so you can see the differences. So this area here outside of this rectangle is called main form. And then what we are going to create inside this rectangle is called subform. Subform is what is connected to the mailing list. So I'm going to go to the objects and then look for subform here. Either you can select from the list or you can press the F9. So let me go ahead and create the subform. And then when I click in there, as you can see, immediately it comes up the relationship which I created. So you can either do that, or you can even create it from here as well. So if you select this and then double click, almost similar screen, but you can create the relationship and then start using it. Since we already created one, we select that and then click OK. Now in here again, how you want to present the screen to the user. So I'm going to go with the original form for now, and then I'm going to say, okay, I want to see maybe 5 invoices at a time. With the scroll bar, never hide the scroll bar, so I can scroll through and view the invoices. And the labels, I don't want the labels, I'm going to put the labels myself. And then I click OK. And then you can see it went outside of the boxes. So now we don't need to see the foreign key, so I can delete that in the subform area. So when I click delete remove here, it doesn't remove on the actual subform, actual form itself. So now I'm going to remove all these labels and you will see why. So now I have the invoice number. I'm going to move it to this corner here, and the description I'm going to move it next to it, and the amount over here. So now you can see there is a scroll bar here. So I'm going to right click inside here, go to display, and then I'm going to say size to fit. So it'll fit around that, and then I could keep that filling a different color if I like. So let's do this color, so we know it's each line is separated. And then there is a container outside of it. We need to bring that in as well. So if I go to size to fit and then click OK, and then it comes in. So now what I'm going to do is maybe I will separate them, the border, with a little blue line, and then click OK. So you can see, you should be able to see the blue line if you know. So now I need to put some labeling here. So Control T, and then I'm going to call it invoice, and then because it's a text label I can put the number sign, no problem. And then here I'm going to put in the ESCRIPTAON, and then here I'm going to call it AMOUNT. Let's say I want all of these to be bold. So you right click font, and then you do the font Arial, and then you say bold, and then let's say 12, and then click OK. So now we did this. Now to do the same, you have to go again, right click font, select, and do that. So rather than doing that, what we're going to do is we're going to create a style for this. So you pick what you apply the style manually, and then you select that, and then you go to object, style, create. So in the style name I could give Arial bold 12, and then click OK. So as soon as I do that, it will appear it in here in this drop down. So you can see all of these are existing styles, and this one I created. So now all I need to do is I pick this one and then press the Control keyboard on your keyboard, and then select this one. So now I have selected both of them, and then go in here and then apply the style. So as you can see, immediately whatever the style I took from here is passed on to these. Now because I created the style, I need to save that style sheet. So I go to File, Save Style Sheet, and then I could save it under the default name, or I could give any name. So I could call it LE9 demo for an example. So I can create my own name as well. So I click OK, and then it's saved. And then the next time when we want to use it, we go into Document, Properties, and then this is where the style sheet we pick which one we want to use. So DE9 demo is there, which is already selected. Click OK, which is fine. Sorry about that. So now let's go File, Save, and then File, User View. So now I'm going to go to the last record, and the primary key is there, and then I'm going to put in some invoice number, just just for fun. I'm going to go 12, and the description is let's say we bought a laptop for $1,200, and the next one is invoice number 34. We bought a TV for $500, and then I'm going to save that. So go to Edit, Save, or basically update the existing information. You don't want to do this, because if you do this, it's like duplicating the information. So we go Save, and then it saves it. So now if I go to the first record, the invoice information is not there, because the invoice information is only connected to the last record. So if I go to last record, you can see whatever I entered is already there. So now this is what we call main form, this area, and then this area is called subform, and then it's connected via the relationship. Now what we're going to do is we need to see the total of these amounts, right? So we need to create a field. So let's go in as a designer, and then we call it total, and then create a new field next to it over here, and then we will call it, let's do TTL, and then amount is the number. It could go up to 12 digits and then 2 decimals. and then we don't need to enter it, so it's going to be read only. And then go into the derivation, and then we're going to, in the derivation, we're going to say sum of, which is one space, sum of one space again, the relationship. So we need to pick this invoices. So sum of this relationship, all the amount. So you build the formula into the derivation. You click OK, file, save, user view, and then go to the last record. So now you can see immediately it's totaling up. So let's see if it works correctly. So I go in here and then put in maybe 55 invoice number, and then this time I'm going to buy what I'm going to buy, a chair, a computer chair. Okay, so I bought a computer chair for $120, and then I tab out of it. So as soon as I tab out of the amount, you can see the total amount changed. It's adding up all of that into one field. So that's the beauty of relationship. So on the fly you will, so now I'm going to go and edit, save, and then if I come out of it and then go back into the invoices table and then form and then put it in table view, you can see all the three I entered, and the foreign key for all of them is the same, because that's how it's getting connected. So now let me go back into mailing list again, go to the last record, and then go to the previous record. So now into the previous record I'm going to put more invoice numbers. So invoice number this time it's going to start with 87 for an example. So for this customer, you know, we have an invoice for smartphone, and then let's put 1200, and then we have 89 invoice number, and then again, you know, we could put TV, that's fine, but this time maybe a little expensive one, 750. So you can see as I'm entering, it's getting added into the total, so it's summing up that. So now I'm going to go and save, and then I'm going to close, go back to the invoices, and then I'm going to put it in table view. So when I put it in table view, you can see the first three of them is the same foreign key, and the other two is different foreign key, meaning that foreign key to the invoices, but it's a primary key to the customers or the mailing list. So that is how it's getting connected. What we call it a relationship. So it's getting connected via relationship. So now that should give you enough understanding how to create the relationship. And then in the in the future advanced videos we will look at it like more related to relationship, but for now I think you need to know the basics of relationship, how to get connected, main form, subform, and then how to do the totaling and stuff like that. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching.